Man insults Keanu Reeves on a first-class flight, instantly regrets it when the truth is revealed. Keanu Reeves is known worldwide for his humility, kindness, and unassuming demeanor, making him one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. Despite his fame, he remains grounded, avoiding flashy displays of wealth and often opting for simple, human connections. But what happens when someone insults him, unaware of who he is? This story explores an unforgettable encounter on a first-class flight, where judgment and arrogance met their match in Keanu's grace and humility. The setup: it was an ordinary day at the airport, with passengers bustling through security and boarding their flights. On one particular first-class flight, a man well-dressed in a tailored suit, carrying a designer briefcase boarded the plane. From his confident stride and air of superiority, it was clear he saw himself as someone important. As he settled into his luxurious seat, he noticed another man taking his place nearby. The other man, in stark contrast, wore casual clothes, a worn-out hoodie, jeans, and scuffed sneakers. His hair was slightly disheveled, and he carried a simple backpack. He looked completely out of place among the high-flying executives and celebrities who usually occupied first-class cabins. The suited man sneered, clearly unimpressed by his neighbor's appearance. The insults begin. Before long, the man in the suit leaned over and muttered just loudly enough for others to hear, "Well, it looks like they'll let anyone into first class these days. Standards must be slipping." Several passengers turned their heads, glancing uncomfortably at the man in the hoodie. However, the target of the comment remained silent, calmly placing his backpack in the overhead compartment and taking his seat. The suited man wasn't done. He continued to make snide remarks throughout the boarding process. "Maybe he's lost," he chuckled, nudging another passenger. "Doesn't exactly look like he belongs here, does he?" Others nearby exchanged uneasy glances, but no one said anything. The casually dressed man, however, remained composed. He didn't react to the insults, nor did he even acknowledge them. He simply took out a book and began reading, exuding an air of tranquility that only seemed to infuriate his tormentor further. Keanu's kindness shines through. As the flight progressed, the suited man grew bolder, making louder comments. "First class isn't a charity, you know," he scoffed. "Maybe next time, save up for a coach ticket." At one point, a flight attendant came by to take drink orders. The suited man ordered an expensive whiskey and shot another condescending glance at his neighbor. But when it was the casually dressed man's turn, he simply smiled and asked for water, thanking the flight attendant with a warmth that seemed out of place in the hostile environment. The flight attendant, recognizing him, smiled back warmly. "It's always a pleasure having you on board, Mr. Reeves," she said. The suited man froze mid-sip. His face turned pale as realization dawned. "Mr. Reeves, as in Keanu Reeves." The big reveal. Suddenly, the pieces fell into place. The scruffy man he had been mocking for the past hour wasn't just anyone. He was one of the most famous and well-loved actors in the world. Keanu Reeves, star of blockbuster franchises like The Matrix and John Wick, and a man whose real-life acts of kindness had earned him a reputation as one of Hollywood's good guys. The suited man's arrogance evaporated in an instant. He glanced nervously at Keanu, who remained engrossed in his book, seemingly unfazed by the insults he had endured. The other passengers, now fully aware of who was sitting among them, began whispering to one another. The regret sets in. Embarrassed, the suited man tried to backpedal. "Oh, I didn't realize," he stammered, his tone completely different now. "I'm a huge fan, Mr. Reeves. I loved you in The Matrix." Keanu looked up from his book, meeting the man's eyes with a calm and kind expression. "Thank you," he said simply, nodding graciously before returning to his reading. There was no malice, no smugness, just quiet dignity. The man's attempt at an apology faltered, and he sank back into his seat, clearly uncomfortable. A lesson in humility. The rest of the flight passed in awkward silence. The suited man avoided eye contact with Keanu, his earlier confidence replaced by evident shame. Meanwhile, Keanu continued to interact kindly with the flight staff, offering a friendly smile to everyone who approached him. At one point, he even helped a passenger retrieve their bag from the overhead compartment, proving once again that his humility wasn't an act, it was simply who he was. For the other passengers, the incident was a powerful reminder not to judge others based on appearances. Keanu's grace under pressure and refusal to retaliate spoke volumes about his character. While the suited man had sought to belittle him, Keanu had demonstrated what true class looked like. Keanu's reputation for kindness. This story is far from the first example of Keanu Reeves' humility and kindness. Over the years, countless anecdotes have emerged about his generosity and genuine care for others, from giving up his subway seat to helping stranded passengers during a flight delay. Keanu's actions have consistently shown that he values people over prestige. One famous story involves Keanu secretly donating millions of dollars from his earnings on The Matrix to the film's special effects and costume teams, recognizing their critical contributions to the movie's success. Another time, He was spotted sitting on the curb with a homeless man, sharing snacks and having a heartfelt conversation. The impact of humility. Keanu's reaction on the flight serves as a powerful lesson about the importance of humility and kindness. In a world where arrogance and entitlement often dominate, his behavior stands out as a shining example of how to treat others with respect, regardless of their social status or appearance. The suited man's experience is a cautionary tale about the dangers of judgment and the value of treating everyone with decency. By choosing kindness over confrontation, Keanu not only diffused the situation but also left a lasting impression on everyone present. His actions spoke louder than any words ever could. Conclusion: the story of Keanu Reeves on the first-class flight is a testament to his character and a reminder of the power of humility. It shows that true greatness isn't about wealth or status, it's about how we treat others, especially in moments when no one is watching. For the suited man, the encounter was likely a humbling experience he would never forget. For the rest of us, it's a story that inspires us to lead with kindness and grace, following the example of one of Hollywood's most remarkable stars.